Okay, we're live. Hey there, everybody. A good Tuesday evening to you. So, I think we're going to try and get in a doubleheader tonight of World Cup of Design courses. We now have well over half the field in. So, as we hit the home stretch here, our first course up tonight is Recreation Yard by freternick. So, Nick has come on strong in recent months. He was in the Dream Team competition um, as an alternate. He was in the rookie competition, um, and now, just judging from some of the pictures I've seen, I think he's going to have a reputation for more than just making pretty buildings and off-course stuff. So yeah, let's check out Recreation Yard. We're going to play the black tees. I believe he used tee manipulation, so either set of tees works here. We're going to play pin one. And he notes on the entry form he'll beat me at golf one day soon. I wish you the best of luck with that. And as ever, I'm using my little 281 driver. The gold boy is old. He doesn't hit it very far. And we're playing with no scout cam, no follow cam. The way it was meant to be. Hey there, Matt. Glad you could jump in for a bit here. All right, so right on the first tee, we see there's building. Presumably that's the clubhouse. I'm sure we'll get a good look at it when we make the turn for home. So we're starting off with a short little par four. Looks like we kind of got a coastal sort of dunesy course. I believe the backstory, Recreation Yard, has something to do with a prison. Interestingly enough. Okay, so this is 380 on the card. We got some low winds. Hmm. All right. So I think Nick's been paying attention here. Got all kinds of width to just blast driver down there. That leaves us with. I think if you play far enough right, you can have a full wedge in there. So that's a decent play. Although I don't know how good of miss it is if you go right. If you kind of go a little more towards the middle, you're probably got to pitch from an awkward angle. So yeah, I think if you're just thinking, oh, I'll just have a smash off the first tee here, you may be sadly mistaken. And with my 3 wood, I got to think about running out of room, I think. So I'm kind of thinking maybe go a little further right. Because I'll be far enough back, I'm not really too worried about the angle. Or I could just get a red fast, that'll work too. All right, so that gives us a decent angle into the green, but we've got a pretty very uneven lie. Maybe too uneven, you might think. I'm not sure. And it's blind. I don't know. I kind of feel like here I mean, it was fluky, but kind of playing up to left there, I feel like I took on some risk maybe. Um, I don't know. Maybe give me a kind of flat lie, or at least like reasonably flat. All right, I think we'll just go deep with a 5 iron here or an 8 iron here. I think it was the right club, but we might have missed left. Indeed, we did. All right, so we got sort of a two-tiered affair here, and yep, the green slopes off to the left. So if you kind of just blow a driver to the right there, you're gonna have a pitch to a pretty awkward pitch. All right, so we can tell from the jump that Nick's been thinking quite a bit about strategy. All right, so now we've got. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. The first hole was so promising. I This is a par 5. Okay. Yeah, it's 360 out. I don't know, man. I mean, this is pretty gimmicky. The big it's the hole shaped like a magnet. Well, I should be able to make the carry to dry land. I've got a little bit of a helping wind and a downhill lie. Hopefully this doesn't de-loft it too much. The green site looks great. I'll give you that. We didn't make it, but it stayed up. Well, I'd rather do this than have, than just hit like a 7 iron to that big wide layup area there. Matt, John, glad you could make it. John burning the midnight oil. Love to see it. Okay, so yeah, I think you gotta be. It's not. I just wasn't a fan of this hole. Let's just say that. I think I've made that clear. I love the first hole for the most part, and this hole, the whole button hook par 5 is not doesn't work for me. Okay, so now we got a long par 4 with a blind tee shot, but generous fairway, and you can see the hazard on the right there. I guess it's not totally blind; it's partially blind. But you got this nice kind of uh, scruffy dunescape that you can hit that you're hitting over. So I think that's kind of my general rule with blindness: is don't try and don't use it to trick me so much. Um, Give me something to hit over, right? That like looks imposing. I think that's all good stuff. But yeah, that last par five, I think the concept, if you toned it down, it works, right? I mean, it's all about the heroic second shot, which I completely understand. Um, but you just gotta don't make it so yeah. Don't shape the hole like a C. All right, so now we got a blind shot. So I think we needed to play a little further left over the ridge there to kind of like in here, and that would have given us a better, maybe a better angle. Although we are going down the length of the green here. All right, we found the bunker, and we got to deal with this big old mound. I think this works fine. I mean, yeah, it's a bit unconventional, but I think it makes sense. It's just a bold contour. Um, Basically, further encourages you to go left off the tee over and hit over more of the ridge there. And we don't get it up and down. All right, four, we got a par three, big yawning bunker short of the green. I guess these two little pits here are just kind of for visual effect. I think like just given the setting here, I might have considered a slightly browner bunker texture because you've got like a bunch of waste areas and kind of like these little like out of play pits that look are kind of meant to look natural. I would think. I think the white bunker sand is it looks a little too man-made in my opinion. That's a just kind of a I guess maybe it's a preference thing. All right, so let's see what's going on with the screen. So you kind of got a slight funnel pin on the in the back right. Yeah, I can see you're definitely going for strants with this course, with the width, the blindness, the contours. I've played Tobacco Road. I know the deal. Yeah, 17 Tobacco Road is pretty downhill, but the green looks pretty familiar. Yeah. Okay. Par 4 looks like the front tee kind of makes it like sort of drivable. Or not the front tee, but the alternate tee. Kind of pinches in at about 290. I think the sculpting on those fairway bunkers looks a tad aggressive. Yeah, I might try and moderate some of these contours just a bit. Um, generally, if I have a place where I know lots of folks are going to be hitting second shots from, I mean, it's obviously I'm all for having uneven stances, but maybe avoid some of the more extreme ones. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of feels like it's punishing people who don't carry a 295 driver here. When the best players are carrying the 295 driver, so feels maybe a little punitive. All right, so anyway, we kind of got a shallow green here, protected by some bunkers. So we kind of got this funnel slash shelf on the back left, a back middle shelf, and then sort of a front right funnel. All right, and then there's a bit of a suggestion of a diagonal hazard here. It doesn't really come into play, which is fine. It's water. It looks nice with the sun coming in over it. I'm not going to insist that you make it totally in play. Okay, so it looks like the green kind of opens up coming in from the left, although granted we're hitting a wedge in here, so curious what the contours do. It looks like the green's sloping right to left though, pretty hard. By the way, Granger, thanks for tuning in. We'll be playing one of your Group B competition after this one. Yeah, we hit a pretty good shot there. Yep, there's the penitentiary over on the island there. And we coming back to the clubhouse, I think. I think that's the clubhouse. Yeah. Yeah, that's the first hole on the other side there. Yeah, we kind of got a two-tiered green with a low tier on the left. Yeah, Tobacco Road has a lot of greens like this. There's like they all kind of like they're all kind of slightly raised on the edges, and they're like two tiers where both, but they have little funnels on the side. We've got a lone deciduous tree there. Figured we get a good view of the sky on this replay. God, these the replay angles here suck. I don't know if there's a way to change those. Ah, I see. Okay, now we got a reachable par 5. Yeah, obviously this isn't really an option. Not a good one anyway. So clearly you want to try and hug the creek there. It is a little. I don't know if I'm a big fan of making like a diagonal water hazard such a key feature of the hole and hiding it behind that ridge. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of that. I mean, I've praised some of the earlier blind shots on this course, but this is one where that I don't know if I agree with it. All right, so it looks like we got to aim sort of over, like I guess this way. Okay, so now let's see, what do we have here? 229. So we can certainly make that carry with a 3-wood, but I think we may want to see if we can make it with a shorter club. Yeah, it's about 206 to cover the bunker there, so I think we can make that if we just put a good swing on it. All right, I think we got the back edge of the green. We got the little helping edges of the greens. Yeah, so it's a small green, but it's a par 5, and you've got these slopes helping you out for the most part. Um, so yeah, that I have no problem with this green size. I think it makes total sense. I personally might have maybe thinned out these pine trees here a little bit, but I don't think that's like a major thing. But just having the single row of pines separating it from this corridor here, I guess maybe it's there for like a safety reason. But generally, I like long views. All right, we got our 2-putt birdie. Now that reminds me, I gotta resubscribe to reuse my Prime subscription on Ben. He doesn't stream enough though, but I need the Baker emote. Okay, so we kind of got like a long, skinny green, skinny-ish, I guess. Oh, that was a little weak. And then we got sort of a triple tier green here. That left bunker doesn't look like a fun place to miss. When the pin's way in the back, that looks pretty fun. It looks like you can use the slope on the left there to kind of kick it in there. Note to self. Make a bot like you can make like have like a you can like ban phrases, right? All template phrases are banned. Okay. So I think we can yeah, we should be able to I don't know if we can clear it. Probably not actually. If the wind was helping us just a little bit, we probably could. Okay, so we got this really deep sandy pit in front of us. Just nobody tell Ben, right? And then like he would like come in my one of my Saturday morning streams or something, and then like he's like making his kids breakfast and trying to watch my stream, and then he just gets timed out for no reason. All right, so our second shot is you got that's a very pretty second shot. You got that kind of waist bunker across. Oh, we had a pretty good shot while we're, if I don't say so myself. The green is, the green's pretty, certainly by the standards of this course, I'd say it's fairly sedate. That's not necessarily a criticism. The wide shots of the replay with the gold boy are kind of funny, I gotta admit. All right, halfway through, and I'm digging this. I feel like pretty much all of my critiques have been pretty minor things up to this point. I'd say except for maybe the second hole. I thought you could have just toned that down a little bit. I thought the direction you were tending was fine. I think you just took it a little too far. All right, so now we got like this major pinch here. Um, so obviously this certainly looks like an ode to the first at Tobacco Road. Except now it's a long par four instead of a par five. I think, with the extreme narrowing between the mounds, like at Tobacco Road, that's not in play, right? I remember I could blow it over it with a 3-wood very easily. It's really just purely there for visual intimidation. Here, it's like very much in play, and if you want it in play, I think you got to give us a little more room, right? If this hole's playing into the wind with my driver, this is incredibly unfair. Um, so again, I don't mind you using this concept, but either move them closer to the tee shot so it's more of just a visual trick, or give me a little more room. Yeah, so I caught the right side. Oh, I ended up staying in the fairway. Okay. So maybe with the slopes, it actually plays wider than it is. So I might moderate some of my comments a little bit. But yeah, this second shot's really pretty though. You've got the sort of waist area on the left, um, and then the kind of horizon green. Going to be very interesting to see this up against Tuzaza. Well, I guess it's not the same group. Tuzaza's Group B. This is Group C. So never mind. But they are pretty kind of similar. So I think it's or similar in spirit. I wouldn't say they're necessarily similar. I think Granger and Nick kind of went. They definitely took it in different directions for sure. But they both kind of went with a Strancian, uh, a sort of a Strancian direction. I guess I didn't really comment on the green. Just kind of a hard back to front sloping green, nothing too complicated. And it's a 520-yard par 4, so kind of makes sense. Okay. So now we got some bridges there. Looks like that's the halfway house or something. Oh no, it's an old like mining operation, I guess, because it's got a cart. It's got like a cart on the, or I don't know. It looks like you put a container on that bridge there. I guess this was the old sand quarry, probably. Yeah, okay, that's what it is. Oh yeah, I got you. This is of course, you have the prisoners do the mine the sand. Hooray for prison labor. Oh, and we pulled that a little bit. Big old kicker slope to the right there. Looks really inviting. Not that I would really be tempted to use it on a hole of this length. Although I guess the white tee is further up, so maybe in the right wind, maybe you can use that with a driver. I think it looks cool. All right, that's probably going to get eaten up by what looks to be a false front there, but oh, we got a nice little kick on the green there. Just made it over. So there's kind of like a back right funnel. This pin's on a little bit of a canted plateau. That was a good putt. That was a good putt. Looks like we're about to cross the bridge there. Kind of got an L-shaped green there. Curious to see how it's contoured. Oh, that wasn't a good swing. Okay, so you got the little. You got some feeder slopes there to help you out, help you work it back to those back left pin positions. That's cool. Obviously, it's like a blind par 3 to that back left hole. All right, I saw some steps in the background. I think the next tee shot might be a visual highlight here. Let's see what we got. All right, so we got a tee shot across this little inlet here. Uh, yeah, I'd love if you just kind of made this sort of go on a diagonal, maybe. Or just I don't think you need it really. It's basically just, do you have a long enough driver slash the right wind or don't you? Hmm. Yeah, I think I might just hit a couple. I'll just hit a poof a couple down this hole. Then we got a blind second shot to deal with here if we don't make the carry. Yeah, I would have liked if that bunkering there was more like on a diagonal. It makes you think a little bit more. All right, we got the prison water tower as an aiming marker here. Okay, the green slopes back to front. We kind of got a little funnel in the front left and then like a plateau in the front right. Yeah. I think, certainly, I mean, this seems like a fun green that would to try and hit into, but kind of the way you made me play the hole, it kind of made it a little boring, to be honest. Once I decided I wasn't going to go for it, I didn't really have to think on any of my other shots. All right, then we got this ultra wide fairway, and then the green, like, it looks like that green's probably straight up the hill. Although I guess it's pretty much flat. So obviously this is just kind of a drive and sort of like a mid iron, I guess. Presumably we probably want to hit it in the middle, so it's kind of going straight up the gut there. Certainly an unconventional hole. But I'm willing to give holes like this a chance. I'm curious what the green looks like. Certainly the tee shot didn't necessarily feel ultra strategic, but I'm curious to see what the green looks like. Okay, so yeah, the left side is really well protected. Seems like you gotta come in from the right side. Um, and then if the pin's on the right, again, probably seems to favor the right side. So yeah, this is kind of a thing that hole that requires a little bit of local knowledge. I'd say I think the sculpting at the back of the green there, I think could use a little TLC. It just looks a little too smooth. Like I can kind of tell that you used a flat, like maybe that you used a flattened brush up here. Um, just make some little random raises and lowers on the back edge there, just to give it a little more randomness, I think. Oh, very fast, very nice. All right, more waste stuff to hit over. So 3-shot par 5. No real incentive to lay up here, I guess. Or, to like club down off the tee. So I'm probably just going to go like driver 4-iron or something. Another solitary deciduous tree. Oh, that was curious to get a closer look at that. Is that a buried, like one of those buried dead pines, or is interesting. All right. At least if you're playing this as a 3-shotter, you do have to give a little bit of thought in terms of where you're going to place everything. Excuse me. In terms of where you're going to place your tee shot and your second shot. So it looks like if I can hit one 215, I can carry that bunker, but I don't want to run out of fairway. It's into the wind, so I'm a bit afraid that and it's off an uphill lie, so I'm kind of afraid that my 3 hybrid won't make the carry, so I think I better hit 3 wood. Well, that wasn't a very good swing. Alright, we're coming back towards the prison. We got a little swale there in the middle. So yeah, the green's kind of heavily segmented, and presumably we're not going to be hitting many long second shots into this green. A lot more wedges. I suppose if you're using overpowered clubs, you you can get to this in two, so it certainly accommodate that. All right, now we got our kind of all or nothing par four. So I wouldn't consider this layup to be an option. So I can basically hit a 9-iron or a driver. Those are basically the two options you're giving me here. I would say why not flare this landing area out to the left a little bit so I can, if I want to hit like a 3-wood or a hybrid, I can, and then just make it so if I bail way out there, I've got a harder shot, you know. Instead, you're kind of like you're forcing me into a decision because I'm not leaving myself 200 yards into that green. I'm sorry. So now it's basically, do I go straight at the green or do I bail left? You're not giving me a layup option here. Not a viable one. All right, so I can certainly carry it into that bunker. So that looks like it's the play, and I have a little bit of a helping wind. And that was a 3-wood, wasn't it? Damn you, Nick. Let's try this again. All right, back fringe or back heavy rough. I'll take this over a 200-yard approach shot all day. Okay, so 17, well protected green. Where do we want to land this? Probably somewhere in here. And we put a lousy swing on it. What are you going to do? Okay, so we got a spline kind of dividing the green in two, and then you kind of got funnels in the front with that kicker slope for the front, and then a funnel in the back. And yeah, if you kind of chicken out away from the shoreline there, like, I mean, that right side is the scarier looking side. Definitely a very challenging hole, but you do have the slopes that help you out. I think in a weird way, this kind of reminds me of the 11th hole at Charleston, Country Club at Charleston. It's like basically that one's like a reverse Redan, and it's like, yeah, hit the green or you're fucked. But look, this hole looks great, and it's certainly you got the green is more than generous, so it's not I'm not that's um, certainly not meant as a criticism in any way. I'm really giving it away on the back nine here. Okay, so we got a sort of a medium length par four. It looks from the way the green's bunkered that we gotta favor the right side, closer to the this sort of beach bunker there. But then again, we'll probably have a short iron in, so I think the main thing is to hit the fairway. At least we got a good lie. And we kind of got like the green sort of like three tiered on the right and then kind of one tiered on the left. Obviously, these slopes seem to suggest wanting to come in from the right. And I think the way you've angled the green, it works for a shot of that length. Oh man, we nuked that. Nothing like finishing with a putt off the green. And we don't break par. Well, the course got to me on the back nine there. I thought this was a really excellent course. I think the only holes I really took issue with were 2 and 16, and maybe to a far lesser extent number 10. And that was mainly just on the tee shot. I think with some minor adjustments, that would be a terrific hole. And yeah, I think Nick, I'd say you're the pace at which you've improved with your last three publishes in just the span of a few short months has been really impressive. You should be proud of this. I think this definitely feels like the kind of course that'll battle for reaching knockout stages. It really does. So very nicely done. And you've always been very good about receiving feedback and everything, and really making use of it. So I can't wait to see what you come up with next. So we'll go ahead and end this stream, and we're gonna start right back up with another playthrough after this one.